Nick Shiah, CEO of GymChina, which is the master franchisee of Gymboree, NASDAQ-listed company.
Right.
It's a phenomenal market, China, and
Yes.
presumably you're seeing explosive growth in the education system. You've been offering sort of premium education to young children.
Right.
How do you see things progressing from here?
How do you forecast China's potential? It's quite difficult. For us, the latest figure we have, first half this year, done a survey by Baby Tree, represents 17 to 19% of parents are actually involved in some kind of early childhood development program. So the market is 80% untouched. So the potential is enormous. So we do see huge growth in the future, and also coupled with migration of the population to city. So these factors will definitely fuel our growth and allow us to even penetrate bigger market.
And presumably, as you see more people becoming middle class, having
Right.
greater disposable
Also,
wealth, they'll be looking
right.
and seeing how they can get
Right.
their child.
Right, and also there's two other factors. One is Chinese usually focus on education. They will do everything to allow their children to receive the best education possible. And second is that one-child policy is actually begin to loosen, especially in major city. And with that policy, usually the affluent family will have that second child because affordability is another issue. So the affluent family is actually our targeted family for Gymboree in China. So they are the most likely to have that second child, the sibling. So for us, the growth is definitely, we're riding on either the economic or the social trend.
You've got something like 140 franchises across China?
Yes, we have about 158 and 112 are in operation. So the 46 are in build-up phases. And for us, we put a high standard on either hardware or training. So it takes about anywhere from 4 to 9 months to build a center. So the lead time is very long.
And you're training the teachers and the caregivers?
We centralize training. In our business, I think we're offering an intangible product, either teaching quality or service quality. That can only be experienced. So how do you provide a consistent teaching quality and service quality? And that is always a challenge for us. And having said that, we centralize training. We are not, at this stage, we are not happy. At least we are not happy with our own result, even though we are already the leader in the market. Yet we want to exceed customer expectation, especially on teaching quality. Because end of the day, it's that child that receives the benefit. And that is the most important thing for us.
How do you maintain quality? It's such a big country, and you could end up with thousands of franchises. How
Right.
do you maintain quality across them?
One of our strongest competitiveness is training. We offer 14 different kind of training program, total over 800 hours. And 85% of those training are in-house that we develop. So I use the analogy that training is our manufacturer role. Franchisee recruit their staff, become raw material, they send to Shanghai, they go through a 2-week, 3-week process, and the finished product, which is a excellent teacher that deliver top quality. So that I call that manufacturing role for us. So training is so important, and training is one of our key elements for maintaining a consistent and top teaching quality. And the other element is Gymboree is so good at lesson plan. So basically there's a script. The script is so well written, so detailed, that the teacher just have to act on the lesson plan. So the teaching quality is consistent. It's consistent, deliver. And with the teacher's personality, very passionate, excellent body language, and their full understanding of children's theory and development, all that coupled together, we create excellent teacher and deliver excellent experience.
And this is a teaching plan that was set out in the States?
Not as to the extent. We build our training program on top of what Gymboree USA has. They have a very good foundation. On top, we build on that. Because early child development, the concept of early child development is quite new. For US, they are what we call second generation user. Their parents were going through the early child development program when they were baby. So they are a second generation. For us, we're first generation user. Many of them have never heard of early child development. So for us, it's a very different market, very different mindset. You can say that they are less mature. They need more information, sometimes more education to educate what is the benefit of early child development. So for us, in the past 6 years, that's one of the toughest challenge. To tell parents, hey, this is genuine. It's not a fashion that you get involved. It does help the children. It does help them to develop. And that is the biggest challenge for us in China.
And you're trying to develop their creative abilities more. I mean, is it a more individualistic approach as opposed to the sort of traditional Chinese rote learning?
Yeah, you're right. In early child development, one of the important key theory is every child is different. You don't copycat the children. Every children develop in their own pace. They have their own strength. Yeah, at the same time, own weakness. So with each child, how can you have a program that really at the same time take care of the individuality of the child? And Gymboree's lesson plan, the curriculum, does a wonderful job on that. And that's why Gymboree has been around for 33, 34 years. They're still a market leader because of their curriculum, because of what we call, if you refer as a product, the curriculum is our product. And that is the key. And with children, we help them to develop their sensory development, motor development, social, cognitive, language, music. So it's a whole array of development. And Gymboree also look at child from a whole child approach. We are not specific at one single development. We look at a whole array of development. And hopefully we can allow children to develop as a whole rather than specific. And the last different from local Chinese concept of education is a play program. It's fun. It's less hard, more soft, more child focused rather than teacher focused. It's more of a play program, more of a fun and interaction. And that is quite different and quite unique. And with the assistance of internet, a lot of young parents are looking for this kind of program.
It sounds a very American approach, though.
It is American approach.
But does that cause difficulties in terms of the Chinese culture?
It should not be said as an American approach. It's basic approach that is believed and developed by most of the child psychologists. They believe this is the right approach to work with children. So for 0 to 6, it's not much about learning hard knowledge, but create an interest of learning. Allow children enjoy learning rather than force-fed and they get sick and stay away from learning. So traditionally, maybe we force children to learn piano in Chinese family. Okay, music is very important, learning piano, especially for girls. So a lot of parents force children to learn piano. For us, we take a different approach. We allow children first to enjoy the experience of playing with the piano. Once they found the interest, they enjoy that, you don't need to push them. They are self-motivated. And that is the approach. And even with INSEAD, you want students to be self-motivated rather than professor pushing. I think it's the same concept. But with children, with babies, we make it fun. We make it fun, we make it interesting. We understand how children develop, so we provide age-appropriate program. So these are the core of what we do.
You're facing a certain amount of competition within the early child education sector. You're facing competition already. You'll only see that grow as the years go by, local governments getting involved. What would be the strategy in order to kind of move forward?
Looking at the computational market, as I said, if you add up all of the early child development program offered in the market, all of the brand only penetrate less than 20%. So for us, it's not about competing with each other It's about expanding this pie. There's 80% untapped. So why fighting within this 20% with each other, killing each other? Let's focus on this 80%, and that's what we want to do. And also, from a educator, I think we have a social responsibility to make sure all the children are exposed or receive some kind of developmental program. So the 80% is the key, not that 20% that we possess. So I think that is our key strategy. And within internally, we re-examine what is our core competence. How can we extend that core competence and to build on that core competence? So our training capability I mentioned a while ago, our franchising ability, and also our branding ability. These three, I think, I found it to be our three pillars of our GymChina. So how can we strengthen that? And how can we recruit more talent to help us to expand? So these are things that we focus on much more. And again, 80% and further extend our core competence.
To tap that 80%, are you thinking of going into the second tier, third tier cities?
Yes. Right now we have a center cover whole China without Tibet and Shanghai province. Actually, we have a presence throughout whole China. We're entering already into third tier cities, some of the smaller city, population around 1 million. So we are, and the challenge of that is, as you know, China is so diversified. Shanghai and third tier city is like two worlds apart. So how can you have a business model to fit that diversity? Or you're going to have different business model to go into a different city. And that is always a challenge for anyone to work in China, is to have different business model or different operation to adapt to different layer and different cities. So with that, we are also re-examining our model. With third tier city, can we reduce our initial capital so it become a profitable and viable business? So these are some of the things that we working very aggressively internally. And we even look at fifth, sixth tier city, going to a smaller city. And how can we do that? We even study how can we go into provincial capital Lhasa of Tibet, which economically is impossible. But we look at different ways to penetrate that market. So it's fun. It's exciting because it provides a lot of challenge for us.
Nick Shiah, CEO of GymChina, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview. Thank you.